Today's video is going to be about three different cryptids. The first one is the Grassman of Ohio. Then we have the Lake Worth Monster of Lake Worth, Texas, and the Rougarou of Louisiana.
The first prominent sighting of the Grassman occurred in the small village of Minerva, Ohio, in August of 1978 when the grandchildren of Minerva residents Evelyn and Hal Clayton, along with their friends, ran inside screaming about a hairy monster they saw in the gravel pit outside. When the couple went out to investigate, they saw what the crying children had described. It was covered in dark matted hair, sitting in the pit and fiddling with discarded trash. It was estimated to be around 300 pounds. The Claytons fled, but this would not be their last encounter with Ohio's ape man. The Claytons would see the Grassman many times after their initial encounter. One night it was seen peering at them through their kitchen window. Howie ran for his gun, but the primate was gone before he returned. The area was later investigated by police, and although there was no sign of the hairy humanoid, several faint footprints were observed in the mud and a terrible smell still lingered in the air. The Ohio Grassman was later seen by the Claytons atop a hill near the strip mine at night. The next month, in broad daylight, the couple observed a hairy bipeds on the same hill. It was only after these reports by the Claytons were made that a startling connection was made. Days before the gravel pit
Minerva
incident,
case,
the
along
German
with its
Shepherd
infamous
was
Sasquatch,
found dead,
would
its
form the
neck
most
broken,
complex,
presumably
and
killed by
the
the investigation
beast
in Ohio's history. Even so, the year 1978 was not the first mention of such creatures roaming the Buckeye State. In the 1700s, Indians native to the Ohio grasslands spoke of a race of bipedal ape men, referred to as wild ones of the woods, that lived nearby. The Native Americans would leave out food for the creatures in an effort to keep peace. Again in the late 1800s, sightings of a similar hairy biped were made by the Ohio River. The hominid had apparently tried to throw a man out of his carriage, but retreated when his daughter, riding as a passenger, threw several stones at it. It is unknown whether these are all Grassman sightings or possibly sightings of a similar kind of Bigfoot, and if the latter, how related the two or more species are.
The Lake Worth Monster. In Texan folklore, the Lake Worth Monster is a legendary creature said to inhabit Lake Worth at the Fort Worth Nature Center and Refuge, just outside of Fort Worth. The creature is often described as a part man, part goat, with scales and long clawed fingers. Reports of sightings by local citizens of a half-man, half-goat with fur and scales in July 1969 led to the belief that a mysterious creature lived in Lake Worth. Newspapers reported the alleged sightings, including one in which the monster landed on a man's car after jumping out of a tree, and another which it threw an automobile tire at a group of people. Newspapers also published a photograph purportedly taken of the creature by Alan Plaster, and locals began driving out to the lake at night to get a good look at it. Local police investigated the claims but found no evidence of the monster in the Lake Worth or Greer Island area. According to one reporter, the Goat Man legend was spread via summer camp stories, where camp counselors told children to listen carefully. You'll hear this cry on nights like this. In a later interview, Alan Plaster commented on the photo, describing as a man-sized white furball that he took while driving past the Nature Center in 1969. Plaster characterized the sighting as a prank, saying, whatever it was, it wanted to be seen. Since reports, the monster ceased, and when school resumed, many suspected the incidents were pranks carried out by high school students. In 2005, a reporter from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram received an anonymous letter from someone claiming to be one of the three high school classmates who in the summer of 1969 decided to go out to Lake Worth and scare people using a tinfoil mask. In 2009, Fort Worth, Texas magazine published a report about an unidentified man who was said to have been a perpetrator of the tire throwing incident. Cryptozoologist blogger Craig Woolheater says that he believes the Lake Worth monster is an undiscovered, uncategorized primate species that walks on two legs.
Rougarou is the name by which, within North American folklore, the same type of werewolf is called that, in the mythology of certain French communities, is known as loup-garou, a name composed of loup, which means wolf, and Garou, a word that expresses the idea of a man transforming into an animal. Rougarou and Loup-garou thus designate the same creature. Regarding its appearance, the Rougarou looks like a being with the body of a man and the head of a wolf. They say that it roams the woods and fields looking for its prey in the dark of night, that its eyes are red and bloodshot, that it can run on its feet although it tends to prowl stalking on all fours, stopping and sniffing left and right, in a predatory attitude. And above all, they say that he is thirsty for blood. The Rougarou is most often noticed as a creature with a human body and the head of a wolf or dog, similar to the werewolf legend. The story was often told to make fear. An example is the stories that leaders or heads told Cajun children to get them to behave. A common legend about blood-sucking vampirism speculates that the Rougarou was under a spell for 101 days. After that time, the curse or spell was transferred from person to person in search of human blood. During the day the creature returned to human form. Acting sick, the human withdrew from telling others the situation for fear of being killed. Other stories start from the Rougarou being a headless horseman to a derivative of witchcraft. In the last variant, only a witch could make a Rougarou, either turning herself into a wolf or cursing others with lycanthropy.
That's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed learning about these 3 cryptids. If you have any suggestions, please put them down in the comments. Or if you've ever had a run-in with a cryptid, let me know and maybe we can do an interview about it. That's all for today. Take care of yourself. Thanks.